we get into the news review segment, and we have both guests joining the conversation in a bit. We'll hear from Matthew Nyendam. He is Member of Parliament for Bandai. He will join us here shortly. But we also have joining the conversation our second guest, Mohammed Batalia. He is Member of Parliament for Sisala East. He joins Sweetie and yours truly. Good morning, sir.
Well, you know how it is. We give you a couple of minutes, two at most, to walk us through anything that you want to reflect on, any topical issue occupying your mind this morning.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sweetie, and yours truly. I think it's once again an opportunity that we give glory to God. There's a lot happening in the country, but I will want to use this opportunity once again, knowing the month in which we are. Not just the Ghana month, but the month of Ramadan, where Muslims have been enjoined by a holy book, especially Surah Al-Baqarah. If you look at chapter 183, that decree to the believer to fast, as it was decreed to those after us. And we are also called upon by this holy book to live righteous life. But I'm saying this because of where we are coming from, especially where we are facing the heat, and there are issues of also meningitis in the Upper West. I'm sure as part of the measures, not staying in very crowded places, talking about ventilation, we are also enjoined by health professionals to be able to take a lot of liquids. This is a time the Muslim is called upon to fast without taking any water. It is my plea to all of us that yes, as much as we are going through this second process, it's also very important we look at the health issues and make sure that we do things that will keep us alive, because we do not want to lose life through this. Thank you so much.
Are you fasting?
I am fasting. I am fasting.
Just want to...
The last time I was here and I didn't say hello to my people. I nearly been So I think that there will be an opportunity for me to be able to say hello to some of them.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, we have to get into the newspapers. Let me start with the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Southern Ghana to experience heavy rains March-June with potential floods. That is GMET, Ghana Meteorological Service. They're saying that. On the National Economic Dialogue, I'll see through all proposals, President assures. That's President John Dramani Mahama. Man allegedly kills girlfriend, buries body in septic tank. That's rather tragic. Let's get into the stories. Let's start from the story of a man killing his girlfriend and burying the body in a septic tank. 26-year-old man, Kwabena Ije, who allegedly killed his girlfriend and buried the body in a septic tank at Sunyani Magazine near the Bono Regional Fire Command, has been arrested by the police. I think that's good news to us, because perpetrators of such crimes should face justice. Pastoral farming or pastoral farming, which is which? This is an editorial. You should pick one for yourself and read it. I'm just walking through the stories in the newspapers and see which one we would end on. NPP completed 3 hospitals under Agenda 111, Dr. Amin Adam says. The immediate past Minister of Finance, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, has stated that 3 district hospitals were successfully completed, equipped, and commissioned under the Agenda 111 hospital project before the previous government left office in December, on December 5th, 2024. We just brought you a story, a report really, from Nana Albuache about how they inspected those hospitals, 2 of those hospitals in the Ashanti region, together with the current health minister, and it doesn't seem to tally with what we are hearing now. It's not operational, but some parts of the hospital has been completed. He says civil work has been done. But let me throw this to you. What do you make of this? They said 3 hospitals were completed, but even before they left office, they said about 70% of them were at various stages of completion. Now we are saying just 3 have been completed.
Well, Sweetie, we are back at it again. I am sure this is clearly in reaction to the President's beautiful delivery at the House of Parliament on the 27th of February, where the President outlined and even indicated that $400 million was spent on the Agenda 111, yet we couldn't complete a single hospital. In the first battle, which is actually being flawed now, you can see, even as at yesterday, reportages that when they went round, there's still an estimated amount of over 100 million to be able to complete that. So I can see that it is just a knee-jerk reaction to also poo-poo what the President said. But the President said something that really exists and people can fast check. What I'm saying is that I think that these stories came out far before even the election 2024. And the verdict of the Ghanaian people communicated clearly to the politician that this tangent of communication is not making matters better for everybody. And I think that the quieter the MPP will be, that will be better for themselves. I told somebody that, yes, in recent times, they should do some self-introspection and understand how they want to be in a position to help govern this country. Why am I saying so? They've been that loud, but unfortunately, the more they shout, the thinner their numbers become. And that they should watch out. Because if you move from 169 at one point to 137, and now you are at 88, that should tell you that the Ghanaian voter or the Ghanaian electorate cannot be taken for a ride.
Have we seen this before? I was just trying to see if I can get into the performance tracker that was launched to see the progress of some of these projects. But has it been done before that opposition organized their own press conference to give the true state of the nation address?
It's part of our political architecture. I think the oppositions have done this most, but we need to assess it and see, are the Ghanaian people taking that? Because now this information is abound. People will be able to analyze who is saying what, as against what is the reality. So people have seen it. You are talking about Central Region. Yesterday, the cameras were there. They've shown to the whole world that that's not the case. That marks a credibility issue. And I think that we as politicians should guide against that. And make sure that we do not allow maybe just partisan sentiments to make us make statements that will not inure to the generality or benefit of Ghanaians.
Ben, you want to get a bite at this? I saw you smiling at me.
I mean, it's become a bit of a trend where usually when the State of the Nation address is delivered, then you have the other side purportedly deliver the true State of the Nation, which is why I've also said that we should get to the point where there are irrefutable, indisputable facts, okay? Because look, there are times where we've reported, even in the erstwhile administration, some of the budgets and some of the ceilings that we had. Some would say, oh, you underreported and you massaged the figures and you took this percentage here so you can get your 5%. Others will say this and that. We have to get to the point where we use international best practices and what we put out there, whether it's the Ghana Statistical Service. And the Ghana Statistical Service, Professor Enim, is doing a fantastic job. And I believe that is why he's still at post, and hopefully he will remain at post. Of course, his line of work also has some guarantees in there. But my simple take is that if the truth must come out, we must be on it. Unfortunately, politicians will sometimes massage it depending on whose ox is God, and they will say it is this or that, depending on what will favor them. That's where we find ourselves. But let's also bring in Matthew Nyindam, Member of Parliament for Pandai. Thank you for joining the conversation, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. It's been a fiery morning. Anyway.
We'll see what we'll talk about.
We'll see what we will talk about. But let's quickly do this. We've already given your colleague about a minute and a half to talk about something that's important to him. What would you talk about? Then we'll get into the papers.
Well, let me say good morning to Sweetie.
Hi.
And good morning to the good people of Pandai. And my brother too. You are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Are you a second time or first time?
No, I'm a first timer.
First time.
Yeah, I know you are a retainee, right?
Don't worry.
He's a retainee.
I think that what I would want to talk a little about has to do with tidal waves. I watched some excerpts from your sets, how the people there are suffering.
Yeah.
Even dead bodies cannot rest. It's been so traumatizing to the people of that area.
Yeah.
And I think that as a nation, it doesn't matter wherever you are. Whatever touches your brother somewhere negatively
touches you.
Sure. And I think that as a nation, as early as possible, whatever the president and the government can do to solve in a way or to reduce the suffering of the people there, it will help them. because the situation there is becoming so unbearable, and it keeps increasing day in and day out.
And you know my worry, this is not the first time we are talking about this incident in this place.
But I think
it
that
keeps happening every now and then.
This time, I think the effect is so huge. That's what I see.
But you see, we're talking about the, loved ones that they've lost and how it's encroaching on. But this, in fact, was it a year or two ago? Something similar happened, and then again, graves were. I mean, and you know how we honor our dead.
Our dead. And they have to evacuate
worried.
some of the bodies to different areas for them to go and bury. I think that that's what I wish government does as early as possible. Because some of the footage I saw, I'm not too happy with it.
Right. Just a quick thought, because you are here. The last time you came here, you were talking about your good friend.
Yeah, you know he's been placed somewhere.
Suleimana, Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. He
hasn't even come to
Are you going to credit yourself for that?
Oh, no.
You pitched for him and you got a role.
Not really, but I think that Sule is a very good man. He's a nice guy.
Right.
He's coming from the president's constituency. Obviously, if they are sharing something, the president is sharing something, there's no way you should forget about my friend.
Are they sharing stuff? This is about qualifications.
It's about what?
It's about qualifications.
The man is too qualified.
Actually more than qualified. More than qualified.
He's a third.
No, I'm saying that it's not about you are close to me, or it's simply about qualifications. It's not to take away from his qualifications.
It is not entirely so. For him to even get to parliament tells you he's more qualified. And he's been maintained.
Okay.
He took over from the president. Even the deputy, I'm sure very soon, when reshuffling is done, they will move him to the head.
Exactly.
Okay, another prediction.
Oh, no, it will come. For that guy, he's good. They will obviously make him a substantive.
You know, this conversation came on the back of that, violence altercation that ensued in his constituency.
Yes.
Because they were sort of opposing that he wasn't appointed. Do you think he would have gotten the nomination if that had not happened?
Yes, he would have still gotten it.
Yeah.
But it's just that he wanted to hear that mischief. He didn't want people to think that because of the fight at the constituency, that's why he's been. So he was fighting his constituents seriously.
Right.
But I know sincerely that they've also added some value. Okay. They've made some noise.
They added value through violence. Through violence. Through violence, they added value.
It will be quick.
In fact, I think I'd like to collaborate with what Honorable is saying.
Okay.
But for the fact that the president is coming from his constituency, he would have gotten a much bigger position.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You think he's not getting it because he's
because
close
they said that
the president doesn't want to make it seem...
No, the man is qualified to be anywhere. But they will tell you that you want a bigger position, but a president is coming from your constituency. That is actually supposed to be like a springboard.
It's a bit of a disadvantage.
It's a bit of a disadvantage to him. Otherwise, everybody endorses that he's a good person
he's a good
who is
guy.
capable of doing it. And he's a hard worker, a result-oriented young person.
Well, at least NDC and MPP, both of you are saying he's a good guy. You are in parliament, I'm not there. But the little I've known of him in interactions,
he's a go-getter, and I think that...
Anyway, let's get into the paper.
Well, we're discussing the NPP's True State of the Nation address and how they're saying 3 hospitals under Agenda 111 were completed. Meanwhile, we saw, just this morning, we brought the report of one of our colleagues in the Ashanti region who toured 2 of these facilities with the health minister, and it turns out that even provision was not made to hand over the hospital to Ghana Health Service. No staffing arrangements have been made, but looks like what you're saying is different from what we're seeing on the ground in terms of the Agenda 111 hospitals. We're trying to reconcile that.
Yes, I think that for the true state of the nation, the minority will always present the true state of the nation. It's not about MPP. It's not about NDC. There are a lot of things that governments will want to keep. The good side of the opposition will never be told. It is up to you to tell your story. The Agenda 111, 3 hospitals completed. He said none. And I've listened to you. I haven't seen your report. You said your
this morning.
What did they talk about? Is it about officially not handing over, or they are saying that the hospital is not there, it's not completed, and there is nothing inside? I have to.
Some equipment have not arrived yet. No staffing arrangements were made.
Yes.
They haven't handed it over to GES. Some civil work has been done, but not entirely
So
complete.
what percentage?
So not operational.
Yes, the fact that it's not operational doesn't mean it's not completed.
No, what if a hospital is complete? All the equipment you need to actually run the hospital ought to be in there.
Honorable Nyendam, quick question. What do you call a hospital? If you say you're going to a hospital, what do you expect?
If you say you are going to a hospital, obviously it should be operational. It should be functional. People walk in, get treated. I get what I'm saying.
Wiring would have been done. All the basics would have been done. Equipment would be there. Staff would be there to take care of you.
This is a developing story. I wouldn't want to say what you are reporting is inaccurate because the media is supposed to do an independent work. And I'm happy that we have a very vibrant media in this country. Nothing can be swept under the carpet. And I sincerely believe that we will not also go there and lie to the people of this country that these hospitals were not completed. You can have a hospital that is completed, but not operational. That we must all admit. So these 3 hospitals, we said those hospitals were completed. We've never said those hospitals were completed and operational and are in use. That is not what we said. But looking at where the president spoke, he is telling the country that none has seen any completion. That is the point we all depart, or that is the departure. We think that 3 hospitals have been completed. Other hospitals are in various stages of completion. That is what we believe in. And we've given out the statistics. It is up to media, just like we have done, to also go further. We will also be doing further works on it, because if we sincerely think that those hospitals were not completed and will be given half information, why not we will admit? We are not...
You would admit?
Why not?
I mean, you claimed you had constructed roads. We spoke to experts. A number of them questioned your... at the SONA, for example, that Mr. President made it clear that even resurfaced roads were claimed to be roads that you added all of those.
We said that was not true.
How truthful was your truth?
Our records are there for everybody to see. The 13,000 kilometers roads that we talked about includes those ones. We didn't say those roads were entirely new. That's not what we said. But we are telling you on authority that those 13,000 plus kilometers of road were completed in our regime, the 8 years of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And they did 4,000. That is the difference. We never said...
Realistic 4,000.
Oh, my brother, what is realistic? What we are saying is realistic. The roads are there. If you go to Northern Region today, let's look at the roads that you constructed and the roads that MPP government constructed. The roads are there. We journey on them. So you cannot say we are lying.
From Wenchi to Wa, 8 years, nothing happened there.
We never mentioned Wenchi to Wa. Is it part of the 13 kilometers?
Nothing happened there. Nothing happened there.
If you go to the Eastern Corridor Road, it's asphalted.
It started before you came.
What are you talking about?
Yes.
Whether it started, did you complete it?
We didn't say we completed it.
When you say you construct a road,
that's what I'm telling you, that
the road was non-existent and you put it there.
We are talking about both.
You constructed it.
Both roads, the new ones, those that we've maintained, and all those kilometers put together. Is 13.
Do you think it's important that you make that clarification, that you constructed this, kilometers of road, you maybe fixed...
It's public. Although I may not have the figures of it, but it's public. I'm not sure we lump all together.
Right.
That's like that. At least there is a separation. The new ones are there, the reshaped ones are there, the maintained ones are there. And we should be crediting MPP government, because if it comes to road construction, we've done far better than the NDC has done.
Okay. So
let's take that away from us.
Let's make progress.
So you say we should be crediting the MPP?
Yes, when it comes to road construction.
We credit you. Can we move on?
We can move on.
On the back page, just 3 headlines, and then we move on to other papers. Volkswagen Ghana to roll out vehicle financing. They're set to roll out a vehicle financing scheme by the 2nd quarter of the year to enable Ghanaians to acquire locally assembled brand new VW cars. And southern Ghana to experience heavy rains March, June with potential floods, GMET is warning. Ghana Meteorological Agency has warned of heavy rains across southern Ghana with potential flooding, strong winds and health risks in the coming months. So take caution. And I'll see through all proposals, President assures. That's the last story I'm doing. President John Dramani Mahama has assured that he has the political will to see through all the reforms that would be proposed at the end of the National Economic Dialogue underway in Accra. I think it was the same narrative about the Education Consultative Stakeholders Forum as well, that he has the political will to actually implement all the proposals that will come from these engagements. Which of these stories pique your interest? Which one would you like to start with? Volkswagen, there's also the GMET warning, and then President's assurance.
Maybe just a quick one. I have a message coming through. I cannot mention the person's name, but he says, good morning, sir. Trust you're doing well. So they completed 3 out of 111, and Honorable is comfortably saying this.
Oh, yeah.
That's for
that is
Honorable Nyendam.
That is the facts. We are stating the facts. It's not about we being happy or he not being happy. It's about the facts. Anyway, that is what we are stating.
Let's move on.
Okay. So yeah,
divided by 111.
It's not about division.
Times
It's not
100.
It's not about dividing.
So 2.7%. If we are to go by the 2.7%.
It's not even up to 38%.
No, you see,
No, 2.7%.
Sam says it's not even up to 38 that they got in the election.
Hey,
The 38% they got.
Master, you want to throw jabs? You want to throw jabs on our show? But Nyendam will get you.
Don't worry.
Nyendam is my main man.
You are a first timer.
Don't mind him. After this one,
We learned those tricks from him, so
you can. You see, Ghanaians voted for
Yes,
you. It is an undeniable fact.
Yeah.
We can't take that away.
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
We are going. You are supposed to govern.
Yes.
You are not supposed to be repeating what they have done.
Exactly.
You are supposed to govern. Focus on that.
Sure. That is why I will want to talk on the assurances of the president. I think that there's a new breath in the life of our country. To me, I was looking through a quote that says that hard times will create strong men. Strong men will create good times. Good times will create weak men. Weak men will create hard times. We've gone full cycle without any progress. We've come to the hard times that have created a strong man. I am confident that John Dramani Mahama has that political will as a strong man who exudes the courage, who exudes the hope to turn things around for this country. He's ready for work. And I think that what he's doing is in direct consonance with what? Chapter 6 of our Constitution. That's the directive principle of what the state policy, where he thinks that one person does not run a country. Let's do a consultation. Let's bring everybody on board on all success. Let's not just focus on the technocrats. Let's bring the ordinary person, the one sitting in Makola doing the real economics that save families. Let's look at those people, bring them on board, and let's pick their views. I am sure this was the view that we picked somewhere in 1991 that gave us a constitution that we are running up to now. I think that we've had this over close to 60, 80 years of life. We've had enough of this historics. He's gone back to the basics, and he's making sure that everything he says, he's going to walk through it. 120-day promise. Go and check his record. Grade him and see the man is serious. He thinks that we should take a paradigm shift to the gorgeous bet, or I would say Adam Smith way of doing things. Let's come to our own, look at ourselves, create a mindset of a Ghanaian that will make sure the Ghana produces what they eat and eat what they produce. They say the Ghana man is not just about wearing clothes. It's also about reshaping our mind, resetting ourselves as a people who are prepared to propel our country to progress.
Right.
And that, I think, he's focused to do. And he will definitely deliver to the people of Ghana.
I thought you get a bite at this Volkswagen assembling, because there's a line here. It says, while applauding the government for creating a conducive environment for investment to drive its industrialization policy, he urged the government to support vehicle assembling plants to increase production by streamlining the importation of used cars. I thought this is something we can commend.
Yeah,
they're saying that the environment has been created, which is why they're making such progress.
Yes, and now this didn't just start within these 2 months. It started in the previous government.
Right.
We have to commend them for that too.
And I'm happy you're doing that.
Yes, we have to. Things that are supposed to be done, we have to, because it's a country we are running. We are not running parochial interests. No. We should move away from that to get things right. And I think that the previous government brought this. And once anything that has a potential to create good jobs for our people, that's what our constitution stands for. We should be able to applaud that. Right. And I'm sure that the continuity will go. And that's what the country wants.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, I think the automobile industry is something that we've championed a lot, wishing that most of these vehicles are assembled here. we are able to, they are also affordable. The fact that you assemble them here, if we cannot buy them, it really doesn't help us. And then the money they are making, the hardcore currency, they should not repatriate those monies. These monies should stay. Our biggest challenge in this country is that most of these foreign countries that come in, they don't keep the liquid in this country. And when they do that, they put pressure on our economy. So it's a good thing, good news. Employment should not also be limited to the people that they are going to bring in. Employment should be local. That local content must be respected, so that at least our young men, those who have what it takes to be employed, must be given employment. There should not be any.
This is rather about, being able to afford cars.
Yes,
They're bringing. Okay, great. All right.
Yes, it's very important.
So on the president's assurance.
The president's assurance. You see, sometimes we talk as if His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is a new person that has just emerged in Ghana here. This man, he's been a vice president under Mills. He's been a president. And then he went for 2016 election. Then his mandate was not renewed. For some reasons, he got opportunity again to come and lead us 4 years. We are painting the picture as if that the Messiah has landed. My brother, there's no Messiah anywhere. There's
no Messiah anywhere? I remember an economic Messiah that you were,
Even he.
My brother, when you were talking
preaching
about
to us some years back about how he's come to save the economy.
You see, I'm talking about the man, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and the picture people are painting. His people are painting as if that is a new person.
Honorable Nyendam, people change. I'm just.
Oh yes. People change.
Yes, I agree. I do remember.
Maybe if you allow me.
The current president. No, I just want you to, so that you can elaborate on.
Yes.
Saying that he had learned his lessons,
yes,
which means that he had admitted that some things during the first tenure were not done well. And your colleague also just made mention of the 120-day agenda, the social contract. And some of what have been achieved.
The 120 days, he said
social contract. If you look at some of the dynamics as we put it out there, there is a clear trajectory of some seriousness.
No, there is nothing. These are things that you can also do them. If you are forming committees within your 120 days, what is it? What is the big deal in this? If you are supposed to appoint your ministers, what is the big deal in this?
Really?
If there is no big deal, I'm telling you, even as we speak, have they brought the four vacancy left?
They are almost.
What is almost? Even the four.
The main cabinet.
Please.
And you asked me so.
I'm not asking. These are rhetorical questions. Yes.
Why then is it that Ghanaians are not accustomed to this kind of thing and it's some sort of novelty? For example, the appointment of the ministers. In fact, that was part of why Mr. President was lauding Parliament for swiftly granting his approvals to his appointments. He said he would stick to 60. Your minority leader said, he should go above that and apologize and all that. These may not be hardcore issues that will necessarily transform the economy, though we are going to save over the next 4 years about $40 million just from salaries of ministers.
I hope you are taking cognizance of that.
40 million Ghana cedis, actually, just from salaries of ministers that is not going there. But these soft, subtle issues show a certain seriousness, don't they? That we've not seen.
You see, I'm not saying, I don't want to run down his 120 days achievement. I don't want to run them down completely. But we are painting a picture as if the man has done something extraordinary. It is not true. The appointments that he's done, every president, by the time you are told per your records that you have won election, you know where you are putting your people. As for vetting and approving ministers, it is Parliament that all of you should be crediting. And they had this opportunity because, I want to put on record that, because they have an overwhelming majority. If we, the 137, you appoint ministers and you say you are not going to advertise them for 2 weeks, the minority will never accept it. They would have stampeded the process. But we did not do that. We allowed everything to go. You appoint a minister, the following day, the person is vetted and approved. And you think that Parliament should not be given credit for that? That's nothing. Let me tell you, the Senchi, we went to Senchi for policy credibility. The same forum was organized. And I'm telling you that if you go and look at these professors and PhD holders, some of them went to Senchi. They are still part of the process that is going on. There is nothing new.
Which ones? You can mention them by
I don't know their names, but you go and do this.
But if you don't know them by name, and you're making this assertion.
There are people who are part of the process.
And I'm just asking you to name them. I'm not saying you are not telling the truth. I'm saying
I can easily name the finance minister. Oh. This is easy for me to name. Are you getting what I'm saying? I can name Julius Debra, who is easy for me to name.
These are politicians.
I don't know part of it.
You said
I don't know part of it.
Doctor, this and Doctor, you are talking of the real,
are people who have gone to Senchi and they are part of this process.
I see.
You see, I am not running down the economic forum. I don't even have the capacity to do that. And I will never do that.
Great.
Are you getting what I'm saying? I will never do that because it is a team of intellectuals who are coming to also put a paper across. But what I'm saying is that it is not new. The president should not paint a picture as if that is the solution. We've gone through that before. It is about implementation. And I'm telling you that what they are saying is not different from what we know. It's not different from what you know. The fundamentals, everybody knows. You are talking about let's eat what we grow. Is it the economic forum that will tell us this? Are we not aware? We are an import-led economy. Don't we know that we must look at our structure of the economy? We know. It is not these people that are going to tell us. You see, the thing is about how disciplined are we?
We must wrap on this point and move forward. And you've hit the nail on the head, how disciplined we are. But we've known these same facts throughout this Fourth Republic, including over the last 8 years when your government was in power.
Yes.
For some reason, the needle didn't really move from where we were. In fact, we import more now, today, than we imported maybe a few years ago on some commodities. Today, we are bringing in chicken from poultry products from Brazil.
Yes.
Brazil.
Yes.
It's not to denigrate Brazil, no, but do you know how far Brazil is?
Yes.
Last time I traveled there was over 15 hours to get to Brazil. That's how far we go to get chicken.
Exactly.
When the Daco farms and the rest in the 90s
were
all there. So someone says, how it will work, whether it will work, that one, it's up to all of us. But if we know all of these things and we don't actualize them, and someone says, okay, let's go back to the drawing board and look at how we can actualize them, what's the problem in there? And finally, is the MPP going to partake in it? Because the first time in Senchi, you boycotted it. Are you going to partake in it? It's for Ghana, not for the NDC.
You've made a very important point. We know all this. Is it the economic forum that will tell us?
Yes.
Are they going to hold the cane and make sure that all these things are implemented? Is that what they are going to do?
Are you saying the forum is needless?
No. It is not about it being needless.
Then what
you see, they are just buying time with this. Look, you have your manifesto. Your budget is coming 10th. Today is 4th. In less than 6 days, your budget is coming. Okay, you've promised us what you are going to do. You are going to remove this tax, this tax. So if the economic forum tells you, okay, it's not prudent, don't take off the tax, are you going to keep it? Are you going to keep it?
You mentioned that this is a team of intellectuals, right?
I'm just asking, what are they going to keep?
And what you also said, President Mahama shouldn't paint the picture as if this is the solution. I don't think I've heard any of them say that that in itself is a solution, but a way of proffering the solutions that would actually meet the Ghanaian at the point of their needs. So the question I guess I'm asking is that not what we need to do to drive policy, to actually put together all the heads that can, contribute to where we want to get to, and then get the solution there to drive policy? Because although we know what to do, perhaps it's not a policy framework. Perhaps it's not enshrined in our, procedures of implementation and all that. And so we just need to put it together.
You know what NDC want to achieve?
I think you will.
The MPP
they've given us a manifesto of how they want to run the country.
They want to paint a picture as if we are against the economic forum. No. We are not.
No, nobody asked you to.
Let's put that. We are not. But I'm just telling you that.
I'm just saying.
2016, we went to Senchi for policy credibility. So between 2017 or 16 and today, so you mean all those ideas are so accommoded that we need new policy, new thinking? Is that what we are saying? I don't think so. But I sincerely believe that we know our problems. It is not the economic forum that will solve our problem.
All right, Mr. Batagla, let's reflect on this and move on to other stories.
I think that, let me ask Honorable. I think Honorable started by saying that President John Dramani Mahama is not a different person.
Yes,
we know him before. Yeah. So by this statement, is Honorable saying that his coming back to Parliament means no hope for the people of Kwandai? Is that what you are saying?
No, the people of Kwandai voted for me because... please. Now you ask me a question.
Yes.
Because they thought I have done something good. So they want me to come and continue.
So Ghanaians voted...
Same way Ghanaians also voted for John Mahama. Thinking he's done something good, they want him to come.
Is that they know he's done something
but that one...
So when it comes to your constituency, they know. But when it comes to the country as a whole, we think.
No, they also know that he's done something.
Your choice of words are interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
But we do have to move on.
They know that he's done something good for
Let's move on.
So that's why he came back.
Let me conclude by this saying, I think that left unto me alone, this national economic dialogue is something we have to all embrace. Number one, we have to even repeat it annually to be able to measure our steps and whatever we say. I am repeating here that the Ghanaians were presented at one point in time, experience and experiment. Ghanaians went for John Dramani Mahama. That was an experience. And that experience is what we are all seeing today. Okay. He has taken a different tangent of leadership, and every Ghanaian, look at the enthusiasm and happiness of the people. People have, it's just like they've taken off some burden. And clearly, even it indicates on the kind of the economic indicators we are seeing, even though there are early days for us to jubilate over that. But I'm telling you that stability in even the currency issues.
Which stability? What is the CD? What is the exchange?
It's not 15. It was somewhere around 17. It was roaming around 17.
Now which?
Yes, if we look at the treasury rate, we right from 91 days, 182 days. If you come to 360, all have come down. Only that we don't want to jubilate. So it's too early for us to jubilate.
There's nothing.
But I'm telling you.
There is nothing. Well, there is something to jubilate about when it comes to that. The likes of Joe Jackson, CEO of Elect Finance, have said that. But again, NDC, also be cautious about some of these. Don't start jubilating.
No, not exactly.
The other side, though, I have heard you jubilate. Actually, I have seen the finance minister on social media putting it out that records being set and that treasury bill rates and all of that, all well and good, but there's still a whole lot more work to be done. But let's quickly move on.
But let me add some little to
this. We don't have that much time.
You see, there's something that I think, it's okay. I, Matthew, I wish that there should be a proper linkage between governments and our institutions. University, research departments, so that collaboration will be there. It should not be 2 days economic forum. No, we have the professors, we have the learned persons. They are day in and day out coming out with papers, proposals. There should be that linkage.
Okay.
That's what I want to be seeing.
Sure. The Daily Graphic this morning, Mahama sounds alarm. Economy needs radical overhaul. Resetting economy, Dr. Yamson calls for fresh start. None of Agenda 111 hospitals operational, according to the Health Minister, Kwabena Mintakando. E-Transact Ghana to drive digital payments future with advanced solutions. Then on the back page, PMAG calls for probe into opioid import distribution. That's on the back of the BBC Africa Eye expose or investigation. And MTN Ghana supports UCROSEC with ICT laboratory. The Economy Times rolled over cocoa sales contract, deprive Ghana benefits of production rebound. Government committed to develop Afina 1X as it holds substantial gas amidst unitization withdrawal. And bridging the funding gaps, economists suggest key areas to consider to execute Mahama's initiatives. Maybe a quick thought, if you want to share, on the opioid import. I'm sure you've seen the BBC Africa investigation on how tramadol-related products and other synthetic products are being abused by our youth, and they are literally killing themselves with these products. I don't know whether you followed that. Maybe that's the only one I would, if you want to reflect on that.
Okay, thank you. I think that this was even a statement made on the floor of Parliament. Sadly, I think that our nation is losing its strong generation to drugs. And in the statement, a lot of people were pointing out to measures being taken to regulate the pharmaceutical centers. But to me, I think that if the lens of search is focused on the pharmacies, we are getting many things wrong. Most of this come through other routes other than the pharmaceutical centers. We have so very porous borders where people can just cross in and out with these drugs at the rural areas. Central to this problem is accessibility. Young ones have access to these opiums. And today, we are facing a challenge. The challenge is turning to become a national security threat. And I think that everybody, right from the traditional ruler, should be called on board for us to take drastic measures to make sure that we keep this in the bed. Otherwise, our country risks losing its generation to drugs. And that will bring not just economic burden, but also it will bring security issues to us. It's sad.
Right.
It's sad. It's sad.
It's quite disturbing, something we have to look at. But let's quickly get into your papers, gentlemen. Let's see what, let's be brief. We have a maximum of about 5 minutes, so you can just look at the headlines and pick maybe one story each.
My headline speaks it all. I think
a little bite on this. Maybe
you want to start. Okay, go ahead.
I think, like he rightly said, the media, you know something, you will help us a lot on this particular topic that you just raised.
The opioids.
Telling you, the abuse. It's not limited to cities now.
No.
Very remote villages that you will never thought of. That young men there under the influence of some of these things. It's a very serious thing. Please, it's a fight we must start now.
Yeah, sure.
If we leave it, tomorrow our younger ones will tell the story. People can kill just under the influence of some of this. And when I was here, I heard Madam saying somebody killed the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah. Sometimes some of this is not by chance. They are seriously induced by some of this.
Yeah.
Sure. After some few hours, they are okay. And they would have caused themselves. So it's a very important thing.
Okay. Your paper then.
So I think I have the New Republic. Then I think the headlines are, after landing Ghana in a 721 billion debt crisis, MPP runs from shame. Party leaders duck out of economic dialogue in a hasty retreat. Mahama kickstarts dialogue. And we have Bank of Ghana post blog on mysterious good for oil scheme.
What do you want me to do for you?
All right, so you're done. There's another paper. Would you like to just give us the headlines? So we can.
Let me take.
We have about 3 minutes left.
All right, so that we have tension brews over Ochihine's vigilante land guards. Then we have Minister of Education warns against religious restrictions in schools. The family of Gregory Afoko is now free. Then we have Akufo-Addo boys, forestry officer linked to Galamsey. 24-hour economic vision, unlocking Ghana's economic potential of the rule of Exim Bank, Ghana.
All right. Let's take your headlines briefly, and then we can take our wrap-up comments.
The business analyst. We will resist any attempts to smuggle in new taxes. Minority wants Mahama. We'll resist it.
Just give us the headlines, and then
I should just give it. National Economic Dialogue is a defining moment for Ghanaians' future, Mohammed tells stakeholders. Bank of Ghana suspend gold for oil policy. Let's recommit to Galamsey fights. Western Regional Minister urges GIS.
Okay, so the suspension of the gold for oil, what I do know is that they are saying the gold board will take it over. But let's check out the headlines from here as well. Then, gentlemen, you'll have 30 seconds each, and then we have to go.
This is it overseer?
Yes.
Mahama, what is that?
Rallies
Ghanaians behind economic reset agenda. Ghana saves 1 billion from treasury bill raise. Ghana saves 1 billion from treasury bill rates drop.
Right.
Finance minister.
All right. So we have to go.
BOG to transfer gold purchasing role to new gold board.
All right. Any final thoughts? Some 20 seconds each. We have to go.
Well, I think that as a nation, like he rightly said, we are all behind John Mahama. Both minority, majority, stakeholders, everybody is behind him. You have no choice than to be to be behind him. Because if we succeed together. When I'm going to the market, I buy, he buys, you buy. We all use the same money. So if our economy is doing well, we are all happy.
Okay, thank you.
If the economy is bad, we all suffer.
Well, mine would just be a simple quote from the leader of Dubai. That's Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. He says, referring to the Arab, he said, the crisis in Arab is not of money, men, morale, land, or resources. But the real crisis is that of what? Leadership, management, and perennial egotism. I want to plead with my brothers. They should leave their ego aside. We know they have plunged this country into horrible abyss.
Okay, thank you.
They should come and let's have a dialogue and rebuild our country.
All right.
On this note,
that's how we wrap up the conversation this morning.
There's no ego anywhere.
Matthew Nyendam is Member of Parliament for Kpandai. We also had Mohammed Bataglia. He's Member of Parliament for Sisala East. They both joined this conversation. Up next, we serve you sports, active sports with Muftar Nabila Abdullah. Do stay.